Hello and welcome to another Unity tutorial. This is gonna be the kickoff session to the character series. So what I'm gonna do in this session is I'm gonna run through different systems, different options that are there in order to get characters into our game. Frankly, if we want to make an RPG, then we just have to get in characters. Would be pretty boring game if there were no any characters, NPCs or anything, anybody to talk to, anybody to give us quests. So the problem with that is we need characters that are all looking alike, just quality-wise. We need them rigged, we need them animated, we need to be able to create more if we need more. And on top of that, we want them to fit our scene. So if we take some space warrior, that wouldn't really work with a medieval style game or a fantasy style game. So yeah, let's just look right into it. There's, of course, the first choice we always have is our asset store. And this is actually pretty decent what we can find there. So if we just navigate to 3D models, characters, 3047 pages with lots of entries. Oh no, sorry, 3047 assets that you can download. So still pretty much. The problem with that is, let me just get it a bit bigger. The problem with that is you have lots of assets in here that contain one single character. So here we could download this space robot Kyle even for free. It's rigged, so we could even animate it. Yeah, it's compatible with the MakeHuman Unity animation system. So we could actually have this one walk around in our world. But then we get the problem that there's actually a certain look and feel to it. So if we then say, oh, I actually need another one, and let's just look for robot, because we just had a robot, and then we're gonna take another robot, and this one just really has a different look and feel to it. The setup, the artist, this is most likely a completely different one, and the way things are done. So that creates a problem because in our scene it will not look good. I just try to illustrate that. I have here a random set of characters. Let's get them going. So as you can see, they are all from different sets. Like here's our overlord that we used in our Setting the Mood series. The last character we just imported at the end of the series was the female warrior princess. This is character Amanda Frost and Samurai. And you can see like they just, let me just get this small again. Like if you look at her, like just the face, how it's set up, and then if you compare it to Amanda Frost or to the Overlord, like it looks really different. And if you have them standing side by side in an RPG, it just doesn't look good. Our Samurai again is a different style, different way the mesh or the textures and materials work. So of course, you could try to fiddle with those characters and try to have them more look alike in terms of materials and everything. But yeah, I think that's a pretty hard task and would be really time consuming. So what we do have though in the asset store, there are also sets of characters. So if we look, for example, all-star characters, here we have a set of characters where you get a whole bunch of them, even different styles. But then again, if you want to do a medieval RPG, I guess you could use this set. You could probably use a few from here, but you could not use a whole lot of them. and would still pay for them. This one is also a bit more pricey. So I think they're really decent quality characters, but if you want to have an RPG that will feature more and more characters, then you need something else. Another one I found, Fantasy Horde, yeah, the Fantasy Horde, I think is a brilliant set of characters. There are different sets. You have like the dwarves, nice little guys with weapons and everything. So if you buy a set like that, you get most likely animations, you get them fully rigged, you get probably props with them, you most likely, I don't know if you can switch the clothing here, I don't know. So there's some ways to switch things around, but then at the end you're just limited to what you got. So I think you can do a whole lot, like this is a whole lot of characters and this is only dwarfs. There are also other sets, like we have the villagers, for example, and there's always in each pack you have quite a lot of characters. So I think this could be a good starting point for an RPG. Then again, you need to buy each set, and that could be quite pricey. I also found a website. There are probably more like this. That's just one I found. Arteria 3D. So there's a 3D artist that also offers like characters and scenery and everything. Oh, that was environment, sorry. So even outside of the Unity asset store, you will find things like that, like those characters you could use in Unity. Probably need to modify them a bit that they work the way you want them to. What this artist got is also like a base package where you can actually, you have one base character, and with this character you get lots of clothing and yeah, animations and stuff, and you can create a whole lot of different characters with just one base male in that case. So something like that would be already one step further than just buying single characters in the asset store or anywhere else. So this is one way to get characters. I also looked around what other options are there, and one thing, let's just go back to the scene view and get our random guys out. So something I found is there are some programs for doing 3D art, like something like Poser. What you can do is just create 3D scenes and of course put characters in there. And this is not necessarily made for games, but as the name says, Poser, like you want to have your characters get in a certain pose, and then that means they have to be rigged, and from that it's only one more step to have them animated. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe Poser used to be part of DAS 3D. I'm not sure. Yeah, don't quote me on that. Anyways, that's another big one. Whole 3D universe revolves around this name, DAS 3D, which I found. And this one, again, also does the 3D art. But what they do is they also have not only the DAS Studio, but they have a whole set of other programs what you can use even for landscape modeling with sprites, or yeah, like you can animate your characters. You can hear just the decimator that gets the polygon count down, stuff like that. And there are also programs just for game development, so you can actually create game characters. We're gonna look at that later, but what they also have is, for example, here, like Merlin Studios, you can get assets and clothing and armor for medieval stuff, but then again you need to look at the price, like an indie license, $500. So that's something you need to consider with DAS. Anyways, like anything that has to do with DAS, it's quite pricey. the quality seems to be really nice though, from what I can see. Yeah, like one thing they developed is the Morph 3D. I'm fairly sure this is, yeah, it says a new venture of DAS 3D. So I'm not sure if it's completely connected but yeah, they're using the same sort of models. And what they created is a system of models that can morph, where you can morph certain attributes. So I just got a few free characters from the asset store. You can actually buy them under the name MCS, Morph Character System. So I just downloaded the male light and female light character. And just to illustrate how it works quickly, if you have a character, you can add content, which would be clothing, props, or anything. You then can attach props on at the hand. Like here, I attach this gun in her hand. So of course, this is not. I just quickly set this up. I didn't really take the time to look in depth, because now you see the gun is still sticking in her hand. Like, that's not what we want. But if you take the time and work with it, I think that could be a pretty cool system. Apart from just the easy setup here, let's go back. With the clothing and stuff, or hair even, you can also morph the characters. That's where the name comes from, like morph the shape of the characters. So if I, for some reason she got this attribute goblin, so if I get this up to 100, you can see, maybe you can see or not, if I switch it to 0, you can see the difference again. Like, it just, yeah, gets her shoulders up and bones a bit bigger, I guess. Yeah, I can also make her a bit bigger like that. So that's quite cool, because with these settings, this is just for the body, you have a whole section for the head that's just quite detailed, even you know, with expressions. Now she's quite happy. Look at her being all happy. So with that, you can create a whole variety of characters, and I think that's already that's a great thing. Like, that's the reason why I think it's worth considering a system like that, because you're so flexible with setting up your character. Then again, like the Morph characters, as any DAS character or program, they are pricey. Depends on what you want to spend, if you want to spend anything at all. So just need to look at that. So I'm taking them out again. And what else do we have? So these are the programs for generating that I found. Like, first of all, I looked at the Autodesk character generator. This seems to be still fairly new and still, I don't know. I think it's still a work in progress. Don't want to say anything wrong here. But what you can do is, right now, I cannot do this because I don't have a license for it. Like, I'm just using on this instance an educational license. But you can just take a base mesh for a person, and then you can choose, like here, different characters. And then I think the fun part about this is the customization, because the way it works is that you have always to each of these parts, you actually can choose 2 base characters. Now I have Gilbert and Min, and you morph between them. Like, so this would be 100% Min in like head shape, and this would be 100% Gilbert. And then you can do that for any instance. Like now for the eyes, of course, needs some time to load. This is all running online. So Gilbert eyes, Min eyes, that's pretty cool. I think that's a nice way of making it user-friendly to adjust, because you get a preview here of the two faces you want to combine, and yeah, I think that's a nice thing to do. What I don't like that much is just the limitations in terms of clothing. Like, yeah, our task is creating a medieval style RPG, and I don't see any clothes that would necessarily fit in there. So this is why I'm not going to use this system, but I think especially if it's further developed, this could actually be a really, really nice tool for indie developers. I just got a couple of characters in here just so you can see how it looks like when they're in Unity. This is Autodesk character, or Autodesk characters. Of course, you see like she's now all shiny. This is just some things with the materials, some settings you need to change, or materials you need to change. Apart from that, like I just put some standard animations on them, and they look quite alright. I'm not all sure about their expressions though, so I don't know if you could get them to talk or how to do that. Yeah, would need to look more into that. Another system I found is MakeHuman. This is actually open source, an open source software, about 320 megabyte large. You can download it for free and use it for free. And yeah, I think it's a great tool. Like if you see the results here, that looks pretty fancy, I think, for an open source software. I like it. Then again, I went ahead, downloaded it, just downloaded it. And this is how it looks like if you start the program. And that looks different than those images. And you have a whole lot of settings. Like you can change a lot of things here. And I think it would just take a whole lot of time to really get into all those settings and figure out how it works. So I think it's a great tool, but I did not really get any great results yet with it. So I think it just really needs some time, what you need to spend with the program. And another step would be to import your characters into Unity. I've done that once, and my mesh was all messed up when I got it in here. So you just need to look into things and how to export it the right way with the right settings, and import it with the right settings, stuff like that. So that's not a trivial, easy task to do. On the other hand, this is one of those tools, like it is open source. There's a community behind it. So if you really don't want to spend any money, this is definitely something worth looking into. As with any system, you will have the same problem. Where do I get my clothing? You probably either need to look for what the community offers, what the program offers itself, or you gotta start creating your own clothing. And yeah, for that you gotta get into 3D modeling. So this is it for what I got here. I still looked into 2 other systems, and those are actually the systems I am planning on using in the long run for my tutorial series. So the first one I want to show you is the UMA system. This is great, I think. So what you see here is the result of me following a secret Anorex tutorial on YouTube. It's a really great tutorial series. So if you're interested in UMAs, have a look at his tutorial series. It's awesome. Yeah, so what we did in the tutorial was just write this UMA maker script, and with that I can put a shirt with Secret Anorak logo on it on our UMA, change the color of it, and I can give him some hair, and again change the color of it. And I can, which I like most, like change his statue now. He's a tough looking guy, and to take that away, like he can smile like that. So the way UMA works is basically, if I turn it off, so still our MCS characters. If I enable UMA, you don't see anything in the editor. That is because the UMA character is generated at runtime. So as soon as I hit play, the scripts run, and there's our UMA. Let's just dress him up a bit. So, and the way it works, you have a base character as well. It's pretty similar to the Morph system, actually. You have a base character. The character is made up of slots, which would be mesh parts of the body, or the clothing would also be mesh. And then on top of that, you have overlays, which would be textures that you put on top of those slots. So there are some races, right now only human male, human female, but of course you could create other races. A race in that case would be the bone system, which is different. And if we look at where do I have it now? So, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, if we look at, sorry about that. If we look at the DNA of our UMA, he actually got a lot of settings like in the Morph system, what you can adjust. So if you see his arms, I can change that. I can make them really big. And these are all settings I can control by script. I can also control them here in the editor. I can save it as a preset in a text file, or as a prefab actually. And that gives me lots of options to modify this one standard UMA and create a whole set of different looking guys. And the amazing part here is this expression player. This is the one what enabled our UMA to smile so brilliantly. So you have here, you can even stick the tongue out, like how cool is that? Just need to there he's sticking out his tongue. So I think this is amazing. If you just want to create like facial animations, you can be really detailed here. You can apparently save it to clip. I haven't done that yet. So there are also what I really like, just some saccades and eye blanking, which just works by setting a bool. So you know, like he's just now once in a while blinking his eyes, looking around in random directions. There are really neat features, I think. Again, here we have the problem that we do not have a whole lot of clothing we can use. There are artists, even like that, which I showed you, Arteria 3D, who offer UMA clothing, which you can purchase. You can also make your own slots, create your own clothing. I've tried that, didn't go well yet. So there's also another editor, DK UMA, which is supposed to make the whole process a bit easier of creating an UMA. I still don't fully know how it works. It's a bit confusing. And because this whole UMA system is pretty nice and it's free, the basic UMA system, I'm actually planning to use this in the long run for my medieval RPG. For now, it's still a bit too complicated, and I'm still waiting for Secret Anorak to post more tutorials. I'm also gonna look myself into the whole thing, but for now it's just a bit too much, and as I said, we don't have the clothing yet. So if I find a way to create some clothing, or if I find anywhere clothing for free, what would fit in our world, then I'm gonna start a series about the UMAs. Yeah, for now I'm just gonna take that guy out again and jump to my last part, which is Fuse. Fuse was created by a company called MakeHuman originally, and at some point MakeHuman got bought off by Adobe. So that's where we're at right now. And Adobe at this point of time actually has a technical preview running on Fuse and a few programs that are connected with it. So that means that right now you can use the program for free. All you need is a Creative Cloud access with an Adobe ID. And then you can create your characters. The way it works there is you just have similar to all the like to MakeHuman or something like that. Like you can adjust the body, and you have some basic clothing you can use. You can adjust the materials on it, and then you can upload it to miximo.com. And there you have an auto rigger, which comes in really handy. So that one rigs your character. You can set or unset the facial rigging if you want that or not. And yeah, then you just put the animations on your character, and there's such an incredible large amount of animations. Let me just see. Characters and Fuse. So let's just look at this Archie here. There are a lot of animations, and that's not even everything. Those are just all the animations I found with her holding the bow. So there are still more with her not holding the bow, obviously. So that's pretty cool. Right now the license says that you can use those characters for free and commercially, so that sounds good. I don't know how the whole thing will develop in the long run once technical preview is over. I don't know if there's any more content coming at any point. Right now you only have like all these are pre-made characters, so I did not put them together. So you have some of those, but they are also from different genres. So I don't know, like you have space people, modern people, you have more medieval style people. That's actually a mutant, but I think he works well for an orc or ogre or something like that, except for his pants. Yeah, this the Fuse itself, let me just show you quickly. The program gives you something some options, like you can choose stitch together the body of your character, and once you're done with that, you can actually start customizing. As I said, like here you can beef them up, and yeah, so you can adjust the body. You got really detailed settings here as well, so that's pretty neat. As we move on to the clothing, I actually imported some clothing here, but which I found online for free. But overall, there are not too many choices, and you know, anything like that, it looks alright, but you could not use it in a medieval style RPG. So this will limit the choices a lot. But for now, this system I found, especially because of all the animations, the rigging and everything that comes with it, this is the system I'm going to use for now. This is the system I'm going to introduce in this series, especially how we're going to use it in our game. I'm not going to focus much on Fuse itself. But yeah, this will give us a starting point. I'll probably bring a few characters, and then we start just scripting our characters. That's the goal for this series, actually, just to see what can we do with them, how can we give them some random walk around behavior, I don't know what else I was planning. I think some conversations or stuff like that. So just need to see as well what I am able to put together. And this will be the content of this series. And as I said, as soon as I feel more comfortable with the UMAs, as soon as I found a way to create clothing and hair and stuff like that, then I will switch over to UMAs. But some scripts we're gonna write here in this series, like the walk around script, stuff like that, we will actually be able to use on UMAs likewise. So yeah, I will put in references to the tutorials, the relevant tutorials later on if it's necessary. But for now, we're gonna stick with Fuse. I can only encourage you to have a look at it. If you don't have an Adobe ID, it's just a click away. And yeah, it's fun playing around with that, creating some characters, and I'll see you next time. And yeah, feel free to like and subscribe if you watch those videos and they are helpful to you. Bye.